Company.
Tonight on Ctv3 News, Orange Walk police investigate death of August Pine Ridge resident. Prime Minister John Briceño weighs in on constitutional claim for redistricting. Plan police in action. Hospital upgrades for the NRH and the Punta Gorda Hospital on the horizon following feasibility study. And the Tracy Panton wins contempt case, but UDP leadership battle remains unresolved. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, February 14th, 2025.
Really? You not switch yet? You know what? I tell you, I don't.
You used to call me on my cell phone, late night just to stay in touch. Call me on my cell phone, cause our connection used to mean so much. And I know when that thought line bling, February's got that love to bring. Yeah, I know when that thought line bling, Smart is giving you everything. These days all I do is wonder if you're still connected with somebody else. Wonder why you're missing out on what's best for yourself. You could have had more, but you're still stuck with them. You don't need no one else, you don't need nobody else. So it's time to switch up a brand, cause Smart's the best in the land. They got the top speed and the best service for your phone. You should just switch to them, it's smarter, no one else. You used to call me on my cell phone.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Police in Orange Walk are investigating the death of a resident of August Pine Ridge who died under mysterious circumstances on Thursday evening. According to official police information, they were called out to a bushy area in the community of August Pine Ridge shortly after 7 on Thursday night, where the body of 66-year-old Roman Blanco was discovered. At the time of discovery, Blanco's body was observed lying face up with a thick branch over his legs. Immediately in front of Blanco's body, police have observed a large tree which had seemingly been freshly cut. Investigations by authorities indicate that Roman Blanco left his house located at August Pine Ridge in his red pickup at around 7 on Thursday morning. Before leaving home, he informed his family that he was on his way to collect firewood and was equipped with a chainsaw. At around 6 in the evening, when he failed to return from his trip, his family became concerned and his wife, Alberta Blanco, alerted a family friend about the situation. This led to a search for Blanco, which resulted in the discovery of his body shortly after. At this time, police are investigating the circumstances surrounding Blanco's death. However, foul play is not suspected at this time. A post-mortem examination is expected to be conducted on Blanco's body to determine his exact cause of death. A decision is expected early next week from High Court Justice Tawanda Ondora in the constitutional claim for redistricting to happen before the next general elections, which was filed by Trinidadian lawyer Anand Bramlogan on behalf of his clients, which includes Jeremy Enriquez, Rudolph Norales, which is the formal name of Nigel Petillo, and Jessica Tolsing. This matter was brought before the court on Wednesday in an expedited manner following the announcement by the Prime Minister of the date of the next general elections. Speaking on the matter today, Prime Minister John Briceño maintained that while a letter was sent to his office by the claimants in this case, His announcement of the election was done after months of consideration and following all parameters of the law.
But I can tell you that we have followed the law and we've acted in good faith. When the lawyers asked us last week if we were going to call the elections for the National Assembly, dissolve the House of the National Election, last week Friday at National Assembly at the House meeting, we answered immediately it was no. Now, told they wrote a letter, I think on Friday. I was out for 1 day for a meeting. I came in and went straight to Bamapan to the House meeting. I got in about 12:30. And I was busy, so I could not respond to the letter. And by the time we responded, I think it was on Monday night. Basically, I'm saying that it is the constitutional right of the Prime Minister to decide when they want to call elections. They don't give notice. They just go and say, I want to call elections then. This is something that has been in the works for a few months now. I've been discussing with my key advisors as to when we think would be the best. So my calling election had nothing to do with what these people are trying to do.
With elections already on the horizon, the Prime Minister says he would hope for a favorable outcome in the court. In the interim, PM Briceño says Belizeans can expect redistricting to be of top priority for his government if re-elected.
I can't really answer, but I'm hoping that the courts would see that we have acted in good faith and that we follow the law, we've followed the Constitution of Belize, and that's what we're operating.
And Belizeans can expect this redistricting process to, this whole process to be continued in the next government?
No, definitely. There has to have redistricting. It's unfortunate that it took so long for the Elections and Boundaries Commission to make a report. The report went to the House, and from indications, both major parties rejected what was presented, but it had to go to House Committee. And so it was in House Committee, and for some reason it did not come back to the House for second and third reading, and that is why it did not happen. But I can assure you that I venture to say that as soon as we elected, if we're elected, I hope we are, that redistricting is going to be high in our priority list, so that we could do it way before the election, so that the aspiring politicians or people that want to represent these areas would have enough time to be able to visit the people in the area, to get to know the people, get to know the area, get to know the challenges. To do that at this point, it will be a bit counterproductive. At least I believe so.
With elections less than a month away, political aspirants from across the country are in full campaign mode, ensuring that their machinery is ready come March 12, 2025. Here in Orange Walk Central, Prime Minister John Briceño says he is confident in his position following years of commitment to the people. As for the opposition, PM Briceño says there has been only one confirmed candidate thus far, and that is Yara Kal, who is running under the banner of Shine Barrow.
Well, we have two UDPs right now, so I don't know which one is which, because Ms. Honorable Chesa Panton claims that she is the leader of the UDP, and so does Honorable Shine Barrow. He claims that he's the leader of the UDP, and both are trying to put in candidates. In Orange Walk Central, as far as I know, it's only Ms. Yara Kal, and that I wish her well if she wants to run. I run on the work that I have done. I believe that as a representative, I have delivered for the people of Orange Walk Central. I believe that I continue to get to continue to have their confidence and their support, and I hope, wish, and believe that on March 12th, the people are going to come out and give me their support once again.
And while PM had previously indicated that this election may be his last, today he did not sound fully convinced. Briceño, however, says when that time comes, he will fully support the next candidate who will ultimately be chosen by the people of Orange Walk Central.
Have you thought about taking anybody under your wing in terms of the Orange Walk Central constituency?
Well, no, I don't think that's for me to decide. I think it's for the people to decide. And anybody who may be interested, should I decide to retire, I'm not sure yet. It has created a lot of problems. But if I decide to retire, obviously there are a number of people that have expressed interest, but they will have to be able to do their work. They will have to go to the P4 Drug Central to be able to quite likely have a convention. And whosoever the party would decide to be the next candidate whenever I retire, then I will support that person.
In 2024, the government of Belize commissioned an inquiry into Belize's sugar industry in hopes of being able to modernize the industry, which continuously faces challenges, particularly due to changing weather conditions. The Commission of Inquiry's report on Belize's sugar industry was completed at the end of November 2024. The findings and recommendations have been handled to the government, including the Prime Minister, who told us today that while he is yet to review the full document, he has noted various recommendations which his government will seek to implement along with stakeholders in the next fiscal year.
The report has been given to me, but unfortunately I have not had a chance to take a hard look and to study it. But that is one of the things that we want to do in the new government. I'm hoping we get re-elected, but even if we're not, I'm hoping that the new government will then take a hard look at the Commission of Inquiry on the sugar industry. From the preliminary look and discussion that I've had, one of the main things is talking about the field, the varieties, improving how we grow our cane, and the infrastructure that goes along with it. That plays a critical role because, as was pointed out, factories worldwide pretty much work on the same principles, but you have to have good cane, you have to have quality cane, and you have to improve the yields per acre. Presently, yields in Belize are probably around 17 tons per acre. The goal is to at least reach to 30 tons per acre. And by doing that, then we can double the production with the same land that we have. So we need to take a look at that, look at the financing. How can we finance our farmers? The farmers are pretty much getting a 1-year revolving credit, and it's expensive, between 12 and 14%. So these are some of the main issues that we have to address. And of course, working along with the mills, well, now they're both mills, how we can improve their efficiencies in the mills, and of course, to modernize the act. The act is old, it's antiquated. We've left it, and now we need to make some fundamental changes on the act.
Today marked a significant milestone for Belize's health sector with the signing of a feasibility study for the development of the Northern Regional and Punta Gorda Town hospitals. The project comes through funding from the Taiwan Cooperation Partnership Trust, valued at close to $1 million, facilitated by the Central American Bank for Economic Integration. The study will look at different structural, equipment, and human resource advancement at both facilities to ensure easier access to health services for residents in both communities. Health Minister Honorable Kevin Bernard emphasized the importance of these studies in strengthening Belize's healthcare system by assessing the requirements and feasibility by these new hospital developments.
This initiative, approved by the Central American Bank for Economic Integration, CABE, and facilitated through the Taiwan CABE Partnership Trust, represents a critical step forward in enhancing our healthcare infrastructure. This journey, ladies and gentlemen, began with the pre-feasibility studies in 2022. And today, we are proud to announce our government's commitment in investing US $986,000, $50.45 in the future of healthcare for our communities. The Orange Walk Hospital, serving over 54,000 residents, and the Punta Gorda Hospital, serving nearly 39,000 residents, are vital to our healthcare system. However, we recognize that both facilities require strategic upgrades and improvements to meet the growing needs of our urban and rural populations. These feasibility studies will not only assess the necessary infrastructure, equipment, and human resources, but will also focus on strengthening the management of our hospitals. We aim to develop comprehensive plans for maintenance, waste disposal, and the overall improvement of our medical services. Additionally, this study will pave the way for the pre-design of the new infrastructures, ensuring that we are well equipped to provide the highest standard of care.
The official bidding process to kickstart the feasibility study in both communities is expected to begin in the coming weeks, marking the official start of the project, which seeks to improve health services in both areas.
We are really happy to be aligning with Taiwan and Belize in building these two hospitals. This is a feasibility study that will also have a pre-design. And we will have all the information and all the technical specifications for us to do a formulation of a project and soon being implementing this project. So this is very important for us to be able to have all the information that we need, technical and specific for the implementation of the project. So we will also like to tell you that we are going to launch the bidding process next week. So this will start all the process of the bidding and also for the evaluation and awarding this new company that is going to do all the studies and finalize the feasibility and also the design of these two hospitals. So we're really happy to be giving this cooperation, this non-reimbursable cooperation through the TCP3, and we will try to work as fast as we can to have all the designs and the studies as soon as we can to start with the implementation of the two hospitals.
Providing funding for this very important project, Ambassador of Taiwan to Belize, Her Excellency Lili Li Wensu, reiterated her country's commitment towards the advancement of various sectors in Belize, including health.
We are pleased that this important project will be supported by the Taiwan-Kabe Partnership Trust Fund. Our friends here in Belize might be more familiar with the bilateral cooperation, technical cooperation between our two governments. Today's ceremony, however, highlights that Taiwan also supports Belize development through multilateral mechanisms like CAPE. Taiwan joined CAPE in 1992 as a non-regional member. Over the years, the ever-growing cooperation has made Taiwan the bank's largest shareholder. In 2021, the Taiwan-CAPE Partnership Trust Fund was established to support CAPE and its recipient member countries in achieving sustainable economic, social, and inclusive development with technical assistance, training, and advisory services. Therefore, today, I'm very excited that this trust fund will support a feasibility study to assist Belize to modernize its healthcare infrastructure and reinforce institutional, technical, and operational capacity buildings of the Northern Regional Hospital in Orange Walk and the Punta Gorda Community Hospital.
This project, according to Prime Minister John Briceño, falls directly in line with Plan Belize, which seeks to improve health care in Belize. This is being achieved through the advancement of NHI and modernization of facilities across the country.
The health sector plays a very important role in the development of Belize. And in Plan Belize, we were talking about expanding the national health insurance, which we're doing now. The entire district of Belize, of Corozal, Orange Walk, Belize District, Stag Creek, and Toledo are covered. We are starting to move into the Cayo District. So we want to cover the entire country. But we also have to upgrade the the secondary healthcare hospitals. Orange Walk is a good example. This was built about 50 years ago. we have outgrown this hospital, and I'm hoping that with the NHI we are easing the pressures of the amount of people going there, but we still have to upgrade the facilities. We have to modernize the facilities. And the same thing happened with the community hospital in Punta Gorda, that when we set up the regional hospitals, the regional hospital in the south is in Dangriga, but that's about 100 miles away. So A, it's too far, especially for emergencies, and B, we have a lot of people that especially the Toledo district being the poorest district, they do not have the wherewithal to be able to get to the facilities. So we decided, working with Kabe, working with Taiwan, between them they're giving us a grant of $900,000+ US, almost $1 million US, to do a feasibility studies for these two places on how we can upgrade them. In Orange Walk, we're looking at if it's feasible to continue to build there, or do we have to build a totally new hospital. We're not the experts, so it's important we bring the expert to take that look. Likewise, that's what we did for the Toledo district, how we can improve this community hospital to be able to provide more of the secondary services that our citizens need in the Toledo district.
The official signing ceremony featured Prime Minister Honorable John Briceño and Ruth Calderon from Kabe, with a special honorary witness signature by Her Excellency Lily Lee Wen-Su, Ambassador of Taiwan to Belize. A missing report has been filed at the San Pedro Police Station after 26-year-old Ernest Lopez went missing on February 11, 2025. Tonight, his family, friends, and the police on the island are searching for him. His disappearance is questionable since Lopez, we are told, does not normally disappear without informing someone. Lopez is described as slim-built, clear complexion, and stands about 5 feet 6 inches in height. Information leading to his location can be shared with your nearest police station or call Crime Stoppers at 922. Coming up next, former National Sports Council accountant sentenced to 5 years for theft and money laundering. Stay tuned.
Hi, my Orange Kenyos. Have you considered why areas of our town flood easily? It's no secret that developing areas in our town flood easily due to clogged drains full of garbage and debris. By properly disposing of waste, we ensure free flow in our drains, preventing flooding in developing areas. I thank you as we ask for your support.
Ivana Yusa, a former accountant for the National Sports Council, NCS, was sentenced to 5 years in prison by the High Court of Belize this week after pleading guilty to theft and money laundering charges. Ayuso confessed to stealing over $1 million Belize dollars from the NSC between 2013 and 2016 by fraudulently issuing unauthorized salary payments to himself. The elaborate scheme saw Ayuso divert significant sums of money intended for the development of Belizean sports into his personal accounts. These stolen funds were subsequently used to acquire a residence in the upscale Belama neighborhood, purchase a luxury vehicle, and cover a variety of personal expenses. Justice Nigel Pilgrim accepted a plea agreement that stipulated a 5-year sentence for each of the 4 counts of theft and money laundering. The sentences will be served concurrently, resulting in a single 5-year prison term. In delivering the sentence, Justice Pilgrim emphasized the gravity of Ayuso's actions, highlighting the severe impact his fraudulent activities had on the NSC's ability to secure crucial funding and maintain its credibility with both local and international donors. Beyond his prison sentence, Ayuso has also agreed to contest the government's efforts to seize his Belama property, which authorities allege was purchased directly with the stolen funds. However, the forfeiture proceedings have been complicated by the intervention of a third party, leading to a delay in the court's final ruling on the property's future. The details of this intervention remain unclear. During the sentencing hearing, Ayuso reportedly expressed remorse for his actions. However, the court underscored the importance of deterrence and accountability in cases of public corruption. 4 high schools here in Orange Walk today received a donation of 2 robotics kits from the Orange Walk Central Executive Committee, along with Prime Minister John Briceño, who is also the PUP standard bearer for Orange Walk Central. Today's handing over ceremony falls directly in line with the recent inauguration of a youth space center here in Orange Walk Town at the Banquitas House of Culture. The youth space hub offers students of all ages from across the Orange Walk community the opportunity to access a safe space where they can learn about information, technology, science, and other emerging STEM topics. Following in this same line, Prime Minister John Briceño says he found it important for high schools to have access to their own robotics kit, which will help to promote ICT among our students.
I mean, wherever you can be with young people and do things with them is exciting. And I found this very exciting to be able to provide them with 12 kits. You know, it started when I was at Muffles High School. I was there for immigration, to issuing some cards for some immigrants. And then when I was walking around, one of the teachers invited me to take a look at what they're doing. He says, listen, we've won a prize, we're doing very well. So, but I think they only had 1 kit or 2, and they needed some more. So I said, well, probably maybe I could donate one. And then fast forward a few weeks later here, when we launched a youth space here, this was also a part of it. And I said, you know what, I think that's something that we want to do. I discussed it with the executive for Orange Walk Central and Jaime as the chairman. And then we decided that we want to give 2 kits to every high school and 2 kits here at the House of Culture for the youth space. So to be here with young people and looking at these kits, the robotic kits that can open up the minds of our young people, ignite their creativity, and for them to start to think beyond the borders of your high school, but to think and think about the problems and challenges that we have and how we can improve through robotics, through technology. As I said earlier, the future, I believe, is through agriculture. People have to eat, and technology. Technology is changing the way we live, and we have to be able to keep up. By providing these kits to our students, I think it could help them to be more creative, to open their eyes, to open the horizons as to what they're looking for. And who knows, maybe some of these kids will be able to go and study robotics and study more technology and to come back to be able to create opportunities and improve the lives of our citizens.
Beneficiaries of today's handing over included Muffles College High School, New Hope High School, Orange Walk Technical High School, and Bishop Martin High School. This donation, according to Education CEO Diane Mejia, will open doors for students in the world of robotics, including Belize's very own robotics competition happening in March.
Worked. There was a vision to start the youth space. And that vision led us to open this space that's open for you. And then PM, in his vision, saw a way to extend and expand the reach of youth space. So he continues to arise and make things happen for us. And so today we're here because we want to be able to help everybody to see where the BHS teachers, thank you for being here, because they're going to share with us another way in which they have stood up and worked. They've taught and they've learned how to make robotics real. The kits that are going to be distributed today are going to be for your use. Not for you to put on a shelf and then they're going to collect dust and every now and again somebody wipes them off and says, oh yeah, remember when we got to that place and when we get that thing? The only way we achieve anything is we have to arise and we have to do the work. We've done the work to get to this point, and so now the work continues. Vamos bien, right? Vamos bien? All right. We're going to share with you students, with you schools, the kits that will inspire, that will kindle in you. We hope, we pray, we dream that vision and that desire for you to continue to arise and to continue to learn and work for the good of Belize.
Each high school received 2 robotics kits as well as personal training sessions from instructors of Belize High School on using the kits. The Banquita's House of Culture Youth Space also received 2 kits which can be accessed by any student free of cost. Celebrations erupted within the Tracy Panton camp today after the court dismissed a contempt of court claim brought against her by Moses Barrow, acting on behalf of his client, Christopher Malcolm, an international lawyer. The legal battle stemmed from Panton's claim to the leadership of the United Democratic Party, UDP, a position Barrow disputes. Knox KC represented Panton in court. While the court's decision is a clear victory for Panton, it notably failed to definitely clarify the ongoing leadership struggle within the UDP. In a Zoom interview, Panton and attorney Sharon Pitts elaborated on the day's events. Pitts explained that the interim relief previously granted by the court is temporary and does not invalidate the October 28, 2024 UDP convention where Panton was elected as the leader.
On their contention, they're saying status quo ante refers to him being definitively the party leader, and that when the order was granted, it definitively established that he is the party leader. And on our case, the position of the Honorable Panton and her learned attorney is that that is not what the order established. And what was argued before determining contempt or any injunctive relief is exactly what did the order grant. And so in the backdrop was, remember, you will recall, a claim was filed for possession. And the claim for possession was filed in relation to the headquarters. And attendant to the claim was the application for interim relief. And so when the interim relief was granted, it was granted in relation to possession of the headquarters. And so on the contention of the Honorable Panton and her learned attorney, Peter Knox KC, is that the order is confined to just that, and the status quo ante refer in its context to the claim for possession and the possession of the headquarters. So it would not be true and correct to say that when the order was granted, it extended itself to definitively declaring the Honorable Shine Barrow party leader. And I can tell you, hastening to the conclusion by the court, that the court agreed with Peter Knox KC that the order of November 8 did not definitively establish that the party leader is Barrow, because that question remains to be determined, and that the order issued November 8 is limited to trespass where possession was granted back to Barrow. The second aspect of the proceedings this morning is based on whether or not the Honorable Panton could be restrained or gagged from saying anything in relation to the UDP headquarters, whether or not she could be gagged from holding herself out as the interim leader, and that sort of thing. And I have to point out that that application also included in it that the order was intended to extend over to parties who are not parties to the proceeding, namely Hot Off the Press, Orson J. Elrington, Mr. John Saldivar, and unfortunately myself, who have zero social media presence. And so what really was showed today in arguments is that if it is that contempt having not been established based on your alleged breach, then there can be no subsequent order to gag anyone where your application for injunctive relief is based on contempt.
Today's decision allows Panton to continue calling herself as interim leader without the threat of contempt charges, according to Pitts.
So essentially, this morning, parts of the arguments really entailed freedom of speech and whether freedom of speech could be impeded by any injunctive relief, especially freedom of speech in a political space. And so having gone through the legal authorities, having listened to the arguments, the court concluded that the second application to injunct or restrain the Honorable Panton and her associates and those persons I named before from exercising freedom of speech, it cannot be obtained, and the order as per it could not be granted. So effectively, both applications by Barrow failed. And at the end, the principle where cost follows the event, it meant that Honorable Panton and her learned attorneys are entitled to costs of the two unsuccessful applications.
When questioned about her ability to field a full slate of 31 standard bearers by the election, Panton remained confident.
We have not officially sent out a flyer declaring who our candidates are, and we haven't officially launched that. There will be an appropriate time when our delegates will be formally introduced. And let me say, the United Democratic Party has 31 standard bearers vying for the election. We maintain that 31 were those candidates who went to a contested or endorsement convention, with the exception of MESOP. And the MESOP matter came to be when the executive committee of MESOP sought an audience with me and asked for a new standard bearer, which is their legal and constitutional right to do. And so there is now a new, based on the strength of that, the new UDP standard bearer in MESOP in the name of Lee Marchand. At the appropriate time, we are going to be declaring who our candidates are running for the United Democratic Party. That determination will
The question remains what will happen in electoral divisions where multiple candidates claim the UDP banner. Sharon Pitts addressed the legal perspective.
Barrow has been maintaining that the court made a determination in his favor, and that is what was used to proceed as he was doing. And today, definitively, the court said, no, that is not what I ordered, that determination is not before me at this juncture. During the contempt proceedings, it was not before the court during the interim proceedings, and it is yet to be determined by the court. And so it is instructive because it lends itself to the broader understanding that if it is he was contended he is right based on his understanding of status quo ante, and the court is saying that no, that is not correct, then it means
As for a place for the embattled Shine Barrow within Panton's slate, she firmly stated that boat has sailed.
How many times have you been aware of us keeping the door open to Shine Barrow and his followers take place in the interest of the party's affairs, in the interest of the people's affairs, in the interest of the country's affairs? And he has said no to mediation at every juncture. I certainly believe, and I will say no categorically, unequivocally, that ship has sailed for us. We will move forward. Up to last week, we extended an invitation, and he was so sure that he was right-footed on this matter that he dismissed it, and he said publicly he had no interest in mediation. He, as far as I'm concerned, has closed that door.
But as the saying goes, there are two sides to every story, and today Shine Barrow called a press conference where he gave his perspective on the court's decision. He aimed directly at the judge.
The applications that were filed by myself and the UDP Central Executive, who were part, Michael Perfit, Alberto August, Sherry Medina, application for contempt and an application to restrain the defendant, Ms. Pantan, from passing herself off as UDP leader and other related orders, they were both dismissed.
How does this impact you going forward into the elections?
Well, it is not
ideal.
It's not ideal, but nothing has changed, which is evident as to where you are right now. The UDP headquarters and the Guardian, the Wave, the operations of the UDP remain as it was ordered in the November 8th order, which is to return to the Central Executive of the UDP. I will share with you that the defendant, Tracy's lawyer, Senior Counsel Knox, pleaded to the court that this is a matter of free speech and that his client is free to say whatever she wants because what she is saying has no impact on my operation and function as leader. According to Senior Counsel Knox, there has been no injury or no interference with my function as leader. I've removed candidates, I have elected new candidates, and I have continued to function as the party leader. So she could say whatever she wants, but I continue to function as party leader, controlling all of the assets and operations of the party.
And while that is Barrow's interpretation of what happened in court, nevertheless, the results have consequential bearings in the face of the upcoming general elections, as UDP supporters want to know whose name will be on the ballot paper.
The application for restraining order focused on her passing herself off as leader. So that was a speech issue. And with all respect to Justice Honduras, I don't remember a defamation case or case of speech. The election and boundaries will have to make a determination based on totality of facts. You tomorrow could say that you are the leader of the UDP, and you can go to. I'm just telling you.
I cannot make that claim.
Why not?
Because there have to be certain facts that precede it.
What certain
and certain
facts?
events.
What certain facts and what
The
certain
holding
events?
of a convention. I mean, come on, no, that
So any standard bearer then can make a claim that they are the UDP leader. Any standard bearer can go next week, gather 300 people, say that they are delegates, and hold a meeting and elect themselves interim leader. That is a reality.
She has support.
No, but we all have support. I have support as well. No, I'm just saying, so maybe saying you was a bit too far, but any standard bearer, any member of the UDP who is a standard bearer, who is eligible to be leader, for instance, in the House of Representatives, because you have to be a member of the House of Representatives or the National Assembly. So any of the senators or the members of the House will be able to do what she is doing, and that's what she's been doing. I believe that the judge, and we're looking at going to the Court of Appeals, we just have to figure out the time period and whether there would be enough time, because as with the issue of the property, that was also denied at the High Court, but the Court of Appeals ruled that you can't just take someone out of their property. So the High Court isn't always the final say, it's just a matter of the timeline that we have. But I do believe that the judge had the power to fill this black hole that will continue because of her proclamations, which have never stopped, that she is whatever she thinks she is, and we will see what will happen with election and boundaries, and we will return to court, file another claim, maybe not even with this judge, but maybe with another judge. We'll file a claim against election and boundaries if need be.
Yeah, but elections are a few weeks away.
And this is urgent. It's the same as with Brother Enriquez. It's the same as with the Belize Peace Movement. I do believe that there was a public interest in having clarity in this matter, and there remains a public interest in having clarity in this matter. Never before has there been two parties using the same color. It has never happened, and I believe we're in uncharted waters.
About a month ago, the Orange Walk Central Executive Committee launched the Your Vote, Your Voice flyer design competition. After receiving multiple entries from Orange Walk youths, the top designs were selected, and last night, the first, second, and third place winners were announced and awarded for a job well done. Taking first place was 19-year-old Joshua Na, a graphic designer by profession, while second place went to Anaí Carrillo and third place was bestowed to Janine Lopez. First place winner Joshua Na spoke to us about the inspiration behind his creation.
I mentioned to Mr. Prime Minister, I wanted it to be something patriotic, but I didn't want it to be all in your face, too cluttered, overwhelming to anyone that sees it. So I wanted, main message is the words and the text that you want to place on your flyers. So the colors from the PUP that they gave, and their previous work that they had, I realized that they love this minimalistic, professional look, and that's what I was going for. The ID, that's the main thing you need to vote. So if you're 18, please go register to vote. That's what you need to have. So that's why I made that one of the main focus in the flyer. So yeah.
And the message that you were trying to bring across, especially to our young people.
Yes, that would be the campaign that they're running. Your voice, your vote. That's why I made it biggest at the top of the page. That's the first thing that you need to focus on. It's your voice. So if you guys want to have a say in anything that's going on in your country, then I'd say vote. So that's the message here.
Each flyer portraying the importance of participating in the elections, Prime Minister John Briceño asked the younger generation to take part in electoral process.
To the participants and those that your designs that you did, if you notice, most of you are very like minimalist, just minimal thing, not a lot of cluttering, and the message that can strike you in your face as to why is it important to vote. You say, no vote, no say kind of thing, no? And that's, I want to congratulate you for the creativity that you all have to be able to take the time and to participate in something that we believe is important, but also at the same time fun. Elections are coming up shortly. It's on the 12th of March. For those of you who are already 18, I hope that you're registered, and wherever it is that you're registered, please come out and vote. And vote for the person that you think would better represent you and the party that could better represent you. I'm not going to ask, and I'm making political today. It's simply that I'm so happy that you have participated in this. And I think that maybe it's something, Jaime and from Orange Walk Central, maybe we should maybe do it continuously every year, you know, like around June, July, you know, that time when students are out of school, and also then there's this transfer period and so forth. So I think it's a good thing that we started.
First place winner took home $500, second place $300, and third place $200. All participants received consolation prizes. And here is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Come we ready, ready. Everybody, body. Shout for PUP. All the way, all the way.
Belizeans, you asked for it, and here it is.
Shout it for PUP. All the way, all the way.
Together, we prepare to march to another big victory for your People's United Party in General Elections 2025. Calling all our PUP faithful from across the country, join us at the Belize Civic Center on Sunday, February 16th for a massive music fest and convention rally where we will endorse the party leader, his executive, and all the delegates of the People's United Party. Come hear from your 31 dynamic candidates that will deliver victory for all Belizeans, led by the man who brought us Plan Belize, PUP leader John Briceño. It all kicks off at 11 a.m. on Sunday, February 16th, with music and performances from Ernestine, Consigo, Roxy, all the way from Sugar City, Yastalia, TR Shine, and many others. Make everybody know, Belize the right pan track with the PUP. We'll see you there.
And answer the call for the only party working for us all in this country. It's the PUP.
In a significant development amid the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, the International Court of Justice (ICJ) has issued provisional measures in a case filed by South Africa, which alleges that Israel is in violation of the Genocide Convention. This order, pronounced on January 26, 2025, signals heightened international scrutiny and intervention regarding the situation. Recently, Belize joined South Africa in this pivotal case against Israel. However, the political landscape surrounding the case is complicated, particularly given the current stance of the United States. Under the leadership of President Donald Trump, known for his unwavering support of Israel, the ramifications for Belize and other nations involved in the case remain uncertain. To gain further insight into Belize's position in light of the ICJ's decision and its implications, we spoke with Honorable Francis Fonseca, Minister of Education, Culture, Science, and Technology.
I think, Belize, as you said, participated in the initial meeting of the Hague Group. There are changing circumstances and changing conditions, and we have to constantly review those. The cabinet is aware of these issues. We are discussing these issues. Again, our position is that any of these organizations that we engage in, we do so on a principled basis, really because of our strong commitment as a country to self-determination. That has been the critical focus for us in all of these fora that we participate. But as I said, it's something that we are reviewing and looking at, and Cabinet will discuss these matters in a more comprehensive way.
Legislation mandating compulsory education until the age of 16 is now in effect in Belize. The new law aims to ensure all children receive a basic education, addressing concerns about school dropout rates and improving national literacy. However, the move comes amid broader questions regarding Belizeans' understanding of the Constitution and its civic responsibilities, particularly as the nation grapples with political discussions surrounding the upcoming elections and the role of government during the period of parliamentary dissolution. In an interview yesterday, Francis Fonseca, Minister of Education, Culture, Science and Technology, was asked whether the ministry would consider making Belizean history a core subject within the national curriculum, given the apparent gaps in civic knowledge.
I mean, there's always room for more when it comes to Belizean history and culture and understanding how we are governed. There's a lot more work that has to be done. That's why we introduced a new curriculum in 2022, and that is really an important component of that curriculum, making sure that Belizean studies, Belizean history is an integral part of that curriculum and is being taught to our young people. No, but there should be no confusion, as I said earlier, about what happens once an election is called. Once the National Assembly is dissolved, Parliament is dissolved, so you don't have representatives. We don't have any representatives in Parliament, but the Constitution of the country, which is the supreme law of the country, provides that the executive of the country, which is the cabinet, continues to manage the affairs of the country, continues to govern the country, has full powers and authority to conduct the work of the country during that period, as I said, until a new government is formed on election day or after election day.
And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, that is February 16th, here on Ctv3 News and Face FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.